Okay, so at this point we have gone over how to create custom content types, how to add custom fields to those content types, how to display fields like images and text from our custom fields. And the last thing that we have to do is talk about how to link our relationships together, right? Because the big idea behind what we're doing is that I can now associate different content types together, and I can say this is the page for this book, but this book has an author and that author has a page, so now I want to link to that author's page. Okay, this is the hardest code that we will go over in this series of lessons, but like everything else that we've been doing, it does follow a fairly set formula. So all I'm going to do in this video is walk you through this code, okay? You might need to watch this a couple times. You might need to go along with it and run the code as you go. Just go step by step. Whenever you're writing code and templates like this, you want to write the smallest chunk that you can and then immediately test it. Make sure nothing's broken. That way if something breaks, you can just undo the last thing that you did and you know exactly where to start. Okay, so I've created a new template for a single book. Okay, I have things like the title of the book, here's the description of the book, and now I want to make a list of the authors of this book. A book might have one author, it might have a few authors. So I start writing a UL, okay, I'm writing HTML at this point, and then I say, okay, start speaking PHP, and a lot of this is going to be familiar from when we talked about the repeater field. Okay, so this is just saying there's a repeater field called authors, loop through each author. This is where the loop ends, right? End loop. So all of this code is from the repeater field. And we have a close UL at the end. So everything in the middle right here is new, and it's what we're doing for each author, okay? Now, this part's a little bit different. So the first thing we're going to do is this line, which basically says, okay, get the subfield author, and my author is an object. Okay, so this is the kind of custom field here is post object. So we're going to say get that subfield author, and this basically says call it post. And then what this line does is say, okay, hey WordPress, hey template, previously what you were doing is displaying for this book, right? So when we call a template tag like title, it refers to the book. What this says is, okay, jump out of that book. Now what you're doing is this author. Okay, so now anytime I call template tags, it's going to be for the author and not for the book. Okay, this line right here says, okay, go back, reset, go back to displaying information about the book. Okay, so everything in here is just like if we were on the author page. Okay, so that means that we get here, we say, okay, stop writing PHP, start writing HTML. We're going to have a list item, an open list item, and then we're going to start an A tag, a link. And inside my href, I'm going to call a template tag called the permalink. So the permalink can be used on any page, and it gets the link to that thing. Okay, so that this author has a link. This will display the link to the author or the URL. So it goes inside the href. Now we're done with our opening A tag, and now we're going to spit out the content that would be clickable, right? So the text that will actually appear. So again, I'm going to start writing PHP, and I'm going to call the field, right? Just like we did in our earlier videos when we were displaying really basic custom fields. The author has a field called first_name. This is just going to spit it out. And then we're going to have a space, and then we're going to spit out the last name. We're going to close our A, we're going to close our LI, start speaking PHP again, and again, this says, okay, go back to the book. We're done with the author. So I'm going to update that file, and then when I refresh it, what we get is an LI, so this is my loop, it's going to do this for each author, an A, this is my permalink, okay, book author / Samuel Delaney, and then this is first name, last name, and we close our A. So again, this is complicated code. You do not need to understand what all of it does. This is as complicated as we're going to get. But the part that you need to remember is once you get into this section right here, you can use any template tags that you could for that author. So we could display an author image right here. It would just be doing like we did when we displayed the author page and we looped through the images. Okay, so if you can write an author page or a page that calls custom fields, you can do this where we reach out to that other object and display the custom fields for that object. Just remember to go slow if you need to go through this video, but it's going to be these steps over and over again.